Nice to see you all. I am coming to you live from, of all places, the dump. I'm going to give you a little shot right here. I'm going to show you what's going on here at the recycling dump. I'm right here. We're recycling some cans here. I've got my sons out here. This is crazy. There's forklifts going by. One of my sons is getting stung by bees, and it's crazy. But I want to talk to you about why they're here at the dump. And I also want to follow up with you about that significant event that I am putting on for my twin sons who are going into 9th grade, rising freshmen. And as I talked about in my last one, I find this to be a very significant transition from middle school to high school. And I am marking it with a nice celebration and a nice event, which I don't want to go into too many details in case one of my older sons who swear they're never on Facebook somehow sneaks on there and sees it. So I'm not going to divulge everything, but a little bit. I am sweating bullets, by the way. Once again, I'm coming at you from the inside of a car, 80-degree weather, because it's the only way I can get away from the kids. So here we go. I told you last time that I'm going to have this significant event with my sons, and part of that significant event is presenting them with an Anvil. Because as I talked about, the program that I run, PrepWell Academy, which is an online mentoring program that helps kids make smart decisions about high school, about colleges, about careers, and about lives. Our logo is an anvil. So I am presenting to my sons an anvil to represent all the things I talked about last time. The fact that they're going to be this raw piece of metal being stuck in the hot coals and coming out and being bent and burned and twisted and banged. That's all part of the stress and the struggles associated with oftentimes moving from one thing to another, middle school to high school. Now, of course, there are going to be good times too. They're going to get shined up and buffed up. They're going to be put in the water and buffed out, and they're going to look like a great new high utility tool. But every once in a while, they're going back into those hot coals. So I wanted to show you, I'm very excited. I finally got back the anvil that I had worked on, and I'm going to have you take a look at it right here. Here's the anvil. It's an 11-pound anvil, and you can see on the top here, this is my son's name. And around there, you see the 11 words that we are discussing over the next week or 10 days. And then when we have our event together, we're going to go over these words. And I've asked each of my sons to reflect on these words: patience, preparation, struggle, relationships, problem solving, learning. I've asked them to reflect on these words because I want them to take ownership of these words. I don't want to lecture them about these words. I want to say and I want to listen to what they think about these words, and how those words are going to have an effect on their lives, what they mean to them in the context of moving from middle school to high school. So I'm very excited to see what they come up with. Who knows? I told them to pick five out of the 11 words, and I want to hear from their perspective, what do those words mean to them? Now, that we're here at the dump, by the way, I'll give you another shot, because one of my son's goals for the summer was to make $500. And he's going old school by collecting cans and bottles from around the neighborhood, turning them in. My guess from doing this week after week, he's probably going to clear about $56, $57, which is nice, bringing the old school back. He brought his brother with him as a little henchman, a little helper, which is going to help him out at all too. I like the modeling of the older brother getting his hands dirty, this blistering hot weather, turning some cans in for some cash. I like it. He's getting closer to his goal for this summer. If you're interested in goal setting for your son or daughter, please go to prepwellacademy.com/P/goals. And I will send you a custom goal setting worksheet that you can print out and use with your son or daughter. We still have about 6 weeks left in the summer. This is prime time to start building a habit in them of creating goals, thinking about goals, writing those goals down, achieving those goals. This is what I consider one of the 7 most important repeatable skills. Over and above the filling out an application, over and above some of this other stuff. Hold on a second. See, now he's trying to come back because he's got his receipt, he's got his money, and he's trying to jump up on me, get into my car. I'd like him in here because I'm boiling hot, but I can't have him come up on my video. All right, so lastly, if you'd like to help your son or daughter with goals, go to that prepwellacademy.com/P/goals. The other little tidbit I wanted to leave you with is you can do this today. I want to give you an actionable tip today for your son or daughter, particularly if it's hot, if your kids are burned out. My kids just finished up a big Junior Guards Day where they ran 7 or 8 miles in the deep sand, so they're beat. So what I reserve for days that they're beat is I call TED Talk night. TED Talks, as you probably know, are 15-minute discussions, presentations by people who are world-class experts in their particular field. Could be astronomy, could be economics, could be engineering, could be sewing, it could be surfing, it could be photography, it could be a host of things. And as PrepWellers all around the country, again, PrepWell is a online learning program where I have rising freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors from around the country going through this program right now. One of their lessons is to watch a TED Talk, right? And I do it during the summer because not every single week during the summer is there going to be goal setting or is it going to be something like that. I want there to be some light weeks. So TED Talks. Why do I suggest that they watch a TED Talk? Well, because oftentimes what I find, and the pattern that I see talking to kids every single day, is many of them are not quite sure what they like, not quite sure what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, or they have an idea of what they think they like, but they haven't really tested it out. They haven't really tried to see whether they actually like it. Maybe they took a class that they like. Maybe a teacher told them they'd be good at STEM or math or art or drawing, but they haven't really tested it. So what I like to see them do, or I tell them to do, all these PrepWellers have TED accounts, and they go into the topics section, and they cruise through the topics, and they find a topic that they think is interesting. It could be robotics, could be artificial intelligence, it could be skateboarding, it could be, you name it, they have it. 15 minutes, that's all it is. It's not a big long documentary, it's not boring. You have your child pick what that 15-minute TED Talk is going to be. I like to do it up on the big screen so that my whole family can watch. And the person who chooses is the king of the hill. You know, they're the ones that decides what they're interested in. And most of the time we all sit around and, you know, we watch what that person's interested in. But what it does as a parent is it gives you an idea of what your child's interested in. Very objectively. You're not forcing them to do things. You're not trying to push them in one direction. It's not a teacher telling them to do this. They can pick anything they want. They can pick Legos if they want. If there's a TED Talk and they're interested, they pick it. So try that tonight. I would love for you to spread the word if you're interested in what we're doing here, or you have questions, even if you're not live with us. Put those questions below, put those comments below, what you might want me to talk about, even if it's 107 degrees sitting in the back of a car. My passion, my goal is getting information out to you that will help you guide, mentor, and help your son or daughter, particularly if they're going into 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. That's my specialty. I've got 4 sons myself, and I work on this every single day, tweaking, adjusting, coming up with things. So I'm trying to give you a little tip, a little hint. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Tell me, hey, that was a great one. Or come back and put a comment in there saying, my son or daughter picked this TED Talk and loved it. They're going to watch more now. Any of that feedback is actually well responded to. I really love it. So please do that. If you think somebody else might get value from this idea of TED Talks, or this idea of this marking a particular transition from middle school to high school, and you need some ideas for that, please do that as well. Put a comment below, put a question below, tag them, tag their name down below. This will go to them, it'll come up in their feed, or share with them. That's an even quicker way to make sure. And last thing before I forgot, there are a few things I'm doing with them for my transition event, and one of them I'm going to show you right here, if I can find it, is a book. This book is highly recommended. It's called The Startup. You probably can't see that because it's backwards. It's called The Startup of You. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's a book by Reid Hoffman, who invented LinkedIn, and it's all about teaching and mentoring kids to be the masters of their own destiny by creating a skill set that can be used in any industry at any time. That's part of what we do at PrepWell Academy. Yes, we're worried about college admissions and getting the right fit and filling out the applications and putting the right extracurriculars in those 10 spots. Yes, that's important. Excuse me whilst I wipe my face of this dripping sweat. Yes, that is important. But PrepWell Academy differentiates itself because we talk about way more stuff than just the application. That's why we start in 9th grade. We talk about creating a portfolio of skills as an entrepreneur so that whether you're in a big company, a small company, you start your own company, you will have the skills, the mindset, and the resources, and the knowledge, and the practice to be a success. Do whatever you want to do. Be your own best boss so that 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when the economy, the industries, the fields are in complete disarray, you are your own entrepreneur. You do what you want when you want. That's one of my big focuses in PrepWell Academy, is to teach them, yes, about college admissions, but we go way beyond that. We talk about how to turn the toilet off when it's overflowing in the house, how to turn that circuit box off or back on when one of the switches has blown because a fuse has blown. We talk about how to turn the electricity off at home. We talk about how to turn the water off to your house in case problems happen. That is not usual for most college counselors. I take the whole student approach because I think that's what matters in the big scheme. So, thank you for listening. Please share this message with other people who are interested. Please think about, if you have an upcoming, a rising senior, a rising freshman, please think about marking this event, whether it's a quinceañera or sweet 16, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, or the one that I'm doing, confirmation, the one that I'm doing, which is a separate event where I'm trying to really get their attention so that they understand that this is a big deal and it's a clean slate. Maybe they fell down a couple times and they struggled in middle school. Guess what? High school, clean slate. Create your own identity. Do as well as you want in school. It starts right now. Thanks for visiting. As you might know, I have committed to being on Facebook Live every single day of the summer. Sweating bullets or not, at the dump or not, I'm going to come at you, trying to help you out. So I'm going to bid you adieu with a little look at the dump. Here we go. Great stuff going on here. People making money, people getting their hands dirty, people living here, getting some extra cash. See you next time.